Hey, and welcome back to the channel. We have a fun double scrimmage for you today. All four players we've seen on the channel. We got me, of course. I'll be partnering with Jackson. And then we have Ben and Joel partnering together. So again, just four of us were available for practice. So we just threw teams together and threw together a match. So again, I hope you enjoy, and I will see you at the end. All right, welcome into the match here. So we have Ben serving on the far court, and Joel is up at the net, whereas I am returning on the deuce side, and Jackson is my partner on the ad side. So again, yep, we're just having a fun scrimmage match. Neither of us really played together much on our USTA team. Jackson is primarily our number 2 singles guy, and Joel and Ben and I all typically play with other partners, so it's kind of fun to get out there and scrap with people you don't typically partner with and just have a fun scrimmage. So this is the first match that I played after I took a lesson for my forehand. So I took a specific private lesson to really focus on my forehand. What exactly should I be doing with my form and technique and balance and all that. So this is the first time that I'm utilizing that lesson in match play. And we can see how that works out, but you know how you learn something new, it doesn't necessarily always go the way you want it to immediately. You really have to work on it and develop it over time. So we'll see how it plays out over the course of this match. So starting off here, Ben and Joel got the hold, so we are looking to match pace here. So let's see how this all plays out, and I will chime in as usual. All right, so we get the early break in the match, which gives me a lot more confidence when I'm serving. As we've sort of documented on the channel, I always feel the weakest position in any doubles match is me serving. And it's nice to have a little bit of cushion there, being that we got the break there. So there's a little bit less pressure, because if I don't hold, then we're still on serve. So that is sort of going through my mind at this point, but again, it's very early in the match and really just want to start off strong as much as possible. And one thing that you'll see in this match is I'm not necessarily playing kind of to the full strategy that I typically do for doubles. I was intentionally kind of staying back and wanting to hit a lot of forehands. Again, that goes to wanting to implement what I learned in regards to my forehand. So I think the results overall could have been a little bit different if I would have kind of been my more aggressive self and get to the net a lot more. But I really wanted to try out the forehand and see if I can implement what I had learned in match play. All right, so I do get the hold, and we are up 3-1 at this point. I'm feeling pretty good. Again, Jackson is typically a player that plays singles, so it's kind of nice to see him being a little bit more aggressive at the net and taking charge up there. Just rattle off a great return down the line. That's the one thing. So typically I play the ad court, but again, I wanted to practice my forehand. But Jackson actually, he hits a very strong forehand, but he prefers to play the ad side. And a lot of it is so he can rip that down the line forehand on the ad side. So that's a very effective shot that he hits. So he just went for it again, but this time Joel was ready for it. But he can really rail on that shot. So it kind of worked out for this practice that he gets to play the ad court where he's more comfortable at doubles, and I got to play the deuce where in theory I'll see a lot more forehands, which I just dumped in the net. But really want to practice those. All right, so that's the second time we've broken Joel. Joel is a very good doubles player. He's very consistent, doesn't make very many mistakes. The one area you can exploit a little bit is his serve, but he does serve and volley, and he's very good at digging out those volleys. So I think just early in this match, just taking time to warm up into the match. But yeah, typically he's very strong in regards to being able to defend the return, despite his serve not necessarily being the strongest like mine. Him and I are very similar in regards to that. Neither of us really have much of a weapon for putting pressure on first serve, but we can be consistent and get those first serves in, which is always a good strategy to have for doubles. The thing is, he does the serve and volley, which immediately applies pressure on the returner, which I don't do. And I actually get the hold to get the set 6-2. So that's exciting. That doesn't happen very much on the channel. So glad I was able to do that. I'm feeling pretty good so far with the way the match is going. I will give a heads up for this set. The scoring does kind of get off a little bit. You'll see it doesn't fully transition, I think, toward in the middle between service games, but it does correct itself pretty quickly. So I kind of made the executive decision not necessarily to scrub out the auto scoring and put my own in there. It'll just be a little bit wonky there, but ultimately the score will reflect correctly for the set and how it all worked out. So just kind of ignore the scoreboard there for a little bit while it kind of goes off the rails for a little bit. It's what you have to deal with kind of AI generated stuff. It still saves so much more time from editing and all that stuff. So still really liking the program so far. But we're making our way into this first service game. We brought it to deuce. So I think Ben has been a little bit more consistent holding his service games so far than Joel has been. But we want to actually start off with a break here as much as possible. But I sail the backhand long, which doesn't help our case. And at this point in the match, just want to start off fast in the set because I know how quickly things can rebound, especially in doubles tennis. And we actually start off with a break. So again, we're just rolling along, feeling very good playing with Jackson. I think we're complementing each other relatively well. Again, at least when he's serving, I'm at the net and being my aggressive self. But I've been not as aggressive overall as I typically have been. Again, in the vein of hitting more forehands, but using this just to really get better and improve, and also just have fun and get exercise. So that's kind of where I'm at this point of the match. And I emphasize this point of the match. Okay, I think we just made it through the wonky part of the scoring of this set, so we are on serve right now. Again, that just puts more pressure on me, which, you know, I always get in my head about serving and kind of the state of the match and where we're at and where things are at. So it's never a good thing for me to feel pressure, even though it's early in the set and we already up a set. And it's just a practice match, so why do I care so much? Why am I so in my head about it? But that's very much what I am. I'm already down love 40 at this point. So that's not necessarily where I want to be, and I get broke at love. And at that point, I'm kind of upset. I wouldn't say I'm off the rails yet, but we do need a rebound for me to gain my sanity. All right, so when Jackson get broke, and now we're down 1-5 at this point. So that's just the crazy thing about tennis. It's how lopsided, even just a couple minutes, things can change. We won the first set 6-2, and now we're down 1-5 in the second set. I will attribute this very much to Ben and Joel really kind of getting a lot more consistent and upping their play. I wouldn't necessarily say, at least from what I'm looking at, I don't think Jackson and I are hitting a lot more unforced errors or not playing to necessarily the same level. Obviously, we are a little bit, but I think it's really a credit to Joel and Ben for just really cleaning up those unforced errors and applying a lot more pressure on us. All right, so we lose the second set 1-6. So at this point, we had enough time. We decided to play a full third set. So much like in that second set, there will be a scoring discrepancy in the middle of the set, unfortunately. So I do apologize for that again. But ultimately, it does correct itself, and the scoring ultimately ends up being accurate. So at this point, my mental stability is starting to waver. I really want to focus on my forehand, and my forehand wasn't necessarily fully kind of there, and obviously that's frustrating. But at this point, I start caring about the match score, especially just with the large discrepancy between the first and second set. You know, just wondering what exactly happened, and how can it be that much of a difference between the sets. So I'm really starting to get upset with my gameplay and wanting to start correcting it. So I think I intentionally start trying to play a little bit more like I know I should be playing to win, while still trying to hit some more forehands. All right, Joel comes in with the clutch hold there after a couple deuces. Again, now it's 1-1, putting the pressure on my serve again. And that's never a good thing, especially when I'm kind of in panic mode of wanting to play better, trying to win the match, looking at the time, all that jazz, and already down love 30. You can see when I start rushing, I start not playing as well. And this is what starts to happen, at least at this point of the match. All right, and I think that's 2 service games in a row that I lost at love 40. So that shows you kind of where my headspace is at. Things are not going very well for me at this point, and I think I start vocalizing it here in the match. You'll start hearing that a little bit more. But that doesn't mean, we're only down 1 break, so it's 1-2. That doesn't mean we can't mount a comeback and really make a play at this set. So let's see how that plays out here over the next couple minutes. All right, so I know it's early in this third set, but that was a huge break for Jackson and I's position in the match. Things could have easily just went off the rails there quickly, so bringing it to 2-all, and Jackson had been serving relatively well throughout the night, so puts us in a decent spot to kind of take charge of this set. And as quickly as I say we could take charge of this set, he gets broke at love 40. So, yeah, what do we do at this point? We're not holding serve. We were able to break Ben. We're up 15 love on Joel right now. So we know we can break them. We've done it before. But it's just that mental hurdle you have to go through saying you haven't been holding serve consistently for a set and a half now. What do you do? Yes, we can get the break now, but we might just get broken again and go down that kind of negative rabbit hole. At least that's what I do. Shouldn't do it, but again, this is also a practice, and I allow myself to kind of go over the top in these things. I attempt to rail it in actual match play, like USTA match play, but that doesn't really work out. I think most of my partners would know that also about me.
Oh my God.
and I get broken again. So down 2-5 at this point of the match. We're just grasping at straws at this point. I actually hit a decent forehand there, which was nice, but then I dumped the ball in the net. So take the good with the bad. Again, just trying to improve at this point. But at this point, I'm over the top angry and upset at inconsolable, I guess would be the word at this point. Which, you know, it's just a practice match. Why do I get so worked up? But that's just the way I am. Let's see if we can make any type of offensive here. We'll see how it goes. All right, we got in 3 full sets there. Unfortunately, Jackson and I just kind of, after that first set, just boom, did not go well. Just too many unforced errors on top of Ben and Joel really kind of stepping up their game, kind of cleaning up those unforced errors and really playing well that second and third set. So kudos to them. They're 2 very strong doubles players on our USTA team. So it was really good to see them gel together and do really well. Unfortunately, Jackson and I, we had one really good set together and then it just kind of a little bit fell apart. Again, working on that forehand, the forehand started to feel a little comfortable, but it's still not fully there. So really trying to nail down that new forehand that I got. So still just a work in progress. So thanks again for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe on the video, and I will see you in the next one. All right, just get out there and play tennis.